Hello and welcome to the Bravas Luxury Living Podcast. Each edition of the Luxury Living Podcast, we try and explore ideas or themes or talk about technologies that can make your luxury home easier, more convenient, and just more splendid to live in. If this is the first time you found the Luxury Living Podcast, welcome along. Please like, please share, leave a comment wherever you find us, and do whatever you can to let other people know about the podcast so we can increase the people watching or listening to this podcast and our community. I always do these podcasts with my colleague Keith. Hello, Keith. How are you?
I'm having a splendid day, Nigel.
Good. Keith, this week we are going to talk about, I think, a really exciting idea that many of us have frame TVs, but we haven't
hmm
subscribed to the art stuff because we don't like it. We want something a bit more interactive, and I think we have a surprise for people who might be new to.
Yeah, I would say in our home, when I have people over, a lot of times I'll just have like that Apple TV, screensaver running in the background, but I have no control over it. It just kind of is what it is. And I think what we're talking about today is kind of like a much more advanced version of that. So I'm excited.
Well, let's just introduce our guest, Dan Mikesell from BlackDove. Dan, welcome aboard.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to join you from Miami.
Well, thank you, Dan. So we probably should start with the simple question, which is, who are you and how did you get to this part of the world? And maybe who is BlackDove while you're at it?
Sure, I've been in and out of Miami for 20 odd years. Spent quite a few years, 15 years living overseas in Latin America. And during those years, I've been involved in technology companies, but in parallel, deeply involved in the art world. My wife and I have been collecting art for 20 plus years. And about 15 years ago, we started an artist residency in Miami called Fountainhead. So I've got deep exposure to arts, to the creative process, to materials. And in parallel, we've been collecting video art. I am one of the partners at Black Dove and have been with Black Dove for a little bit over 3 years.
So what problem was BlackDove trying to solve?
Black Dove solves a couple problems. The basic problem is TVs are getting bigger and bigger, and they're in public rooms, and the television is typically off 85 to 90% of the day. So what Black Dove does is people have design elements, whether it's art or textiles, and we convert that TV into a digital canvas on which any type of art the client wants can play via Black Dove's platform.
So I was saying that I have a Samsung TV at home. I really love it, 65-inch television. We use some of the art that comes with the basic television. I know you guys work with Samsung, but try and give us a compare and contrast about what the difference might be between pieces of artwork that come with the TV and what Black Dove can sort of offer additionally.
Sure, my pleasure. I like Samsung. Samsung's an important partner. What Black Dove has is a subscription of video art library of about 2,000 pieces. What our clients do is they choose 5 to 10 pieces and make that into a playlist. And our typical client has 3, 4 playlists. Let's say they have calming art during the day, a little more energetic art, let's say late afternoon, end of the workday, and maybe some festive art, party art to play when they have guests or neighbors over. So what Black Dove allows is number one, all of our art is moving art. Most of Samsung's art is static art. Number two, we make it very easy for our clients to either with us or independently of us create playlists which appeal to different groups, who's ever in their house at that time. Another thing that we've started doing recently, everybody's talking about NFTs, digital art. Black Dove allows collectors of digital art, NFTs, to upload them to Black Dove, watch them any screen, any house, anytime. So you can
So,
enjoy our art or your own art.
so you said a couple of interesting things there. Give me a better idea of what video or moving art would look like. Like Nigel mentioned the static art on the Samsung frame. I said I've kind of used that like drone footage that Apple TV has. What exactly would moving art look like for some of our clients?
Sure, I mean, it's a great question. So it can be anything from landscape type art, which you could see on some of the other platforms potentially, to color-based art. to tech-based art. It's got some technology in it. Slow-moving art. We've got wellness art. So if you want to calm the house down, if you want to calm yourselves down, the one of the beauties of BlackDove is we've got such a wide variety of art that not only does it appeal to a lot of people, but people during the day change their outlook. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want to see. We allow people to do that with BlackDove art as well.
So with calming art, I'm imagining like a lava lamp or something like that, where you just kind of have that constant motion and interest. I'm sure that's an oversimplification, but
But it's interesting. I mean, there's certain colors that calm the body down.
mhm.
There's certain movements that calm the body down. Some of our artists actually work with those colors and those movements and that speed to put very calming art on our platform. And we've got it used in healthcare facilities as well as homes.
That's interesting. So more than just a decorative aspect, there's kind of a wellness piece to it as well.
I think art provides wellness. The individual's selection of specific pieces talks to them, talks to who's in the house. But absolutely, we've got wellness art, and it's been pretty well received.
So I'm going to show a piece of art now that is something that I have running on my Apple TV at home. And the way I've done it, I know at least with BlackDove, is I've got it on my Apple TV. I've connected my Apple TV to my Samsung, and then I've managed to make it work through my iPhone. But there's many different ways of attaching it, aren't there, Dan? It's not just through an Apple TV.
There are. I mean, I'll talk indirectly about a client of ours in Malibu. So that client started out with one BlackDove art server. That server put art on his 6 or 7 screens in the house. He's got multiple houses, but when he started to spend more time at this Malibu property, he said, I want different art on different screens. So we put a couple more art servers. He's got 3 art servers, so he can change the art on any of those screens anytime he wants. I really like the BlackDove art server. It's incredibly reliable. It stores art locally, so there are no internet concerns. And in the rare case there is a problem, BlackDove can fix it remotely. Nobody has to visit the house.
And so, with multiple different servers, let's just do a sort of one-on-one technology here. So there's a you guys are an app, you're a server. Try and give people a sense of what they're technology-wise they're going to need to put in place to make this work.
So BlackDove is a video art gallery. That's what we are. We also have a platform that stores and shows the art. So what we're talking about is, let's say you guys are installing an 85-inch screen in someone's living room, and they want art on that screen, and maybe, let's say, another screen in a hallway. We would put one of our art servers there, and that stream of art would be sent to both those screens. So the client buys one or multiple art servers. We pick the playlist with the client or multiple playlists, and that art is played. We work with any of the automation systems, any screen, regular LCD TVs or video walls as well. We went live this morning on a 12K video wall.
I don't even know that I knew that existed, but that's fantastic. So I love the idea. You just mentioned you could have it, say, on a big TV, like in your living room, and then in a hallway. The hallway strikes me as a really unique place where this would actually be easier for us to install than somebody to put an actual piece of artwork and then add good lighting to it. I like that flexibility that it's kind of this self-contained, self-powered artwork. Where are some other places you're seeing people put these systems?
I like to personalize things. So you see a little bit. I'm in my house right now. My wife and I collect art. Let's say we have 400 pieces of art in the house. We took one of them down, a painting down, and we put one of our digital canvases up, a portrait screen. So psychologically, when you walk into a new space, there's a principle called fight or flight. You almost always look to your left. So I put that screen to the left when you walk into our house, and that is an art only screen. Only art is shown on that screen. And we've got it on 16, 17 hours a day. To your question, We have clients that have BlackDove art playing in the bathroom. Now, it's a big bathroom where people spend more time than just brushing their teeth. And the client said, I want art in my bathroom as I get ready in the morning. So we have it in the bathroom. We have outdoor screens. Samsung Terrace is a great screen. BlackDove looks real good on it. We have video walls in the house. We literally any room, we've got it in the kitchens.
I think it probably also would work in commercial environments as well, isn't it? I mean, in receptions
Yeah,
of buildings and, rather than a boring television, that's also a nice, interesting place, I'd have thought.
yeah. That place we went live today is in New York City. It's actually, to your point, it's one of the walls is 5.5K, the other wall is 6.5K.
Wow.
We're putting art on both walls. 5.5 plus 6.5 is 12. And I was there earlier this week, and they have an incredible view of the Chrysler Building. They're taller than the Chrysler Building.
Okay. I think we'll try and
So yeah, we
not try and
we
work
have a
it
lot of
out, but
we have a lot of commercial clients at lobbies, conference rooms, boardrooms, elevator bays.
so you mentioned NFTs earlier, which I believe is non-fungible token. So let's I think I vaguely understand what an NFT is, but why don't you explain what you think, what an NFT is and how it works with Black Dove?
Yeah, pretend I don't
Sure,
understand.
no problem at all. So an NFT is a piece of digital art. The category, the type, the length, the quality varies like any piece of art. And what the NFT establishes is this person bought it and paid this much for it. And it also allows for clear ownership and potential resale. So another thing about NFT, what they're calling NFT art, is it's almost all bought with cryptocurrency, specifically Ether. So it's people with cryptocurrency buying digital art, and they're desperately looking for an interesting, easy way to show it in their house. Historically goes back for a couple of years. NFTs haven't been around that long. People are watching NFTs on their phone. So we have more and more of our clients are buying NFTs and saying, I don't want to watch it on my phone. I want to watch it on a screen. They upload their NFT to BlackDove and they can watch it any screen, any house, anytime.
So how would I find the NFTs? Do I Google NFT? I mean, how does one find what's out there?
Yeah, I mean, there are all sorts of what they call Nigel marketplaces, online vendors of NFTs or digital art. BlackDove is one. We're going live right now selling our own NFTs. So one of the interesting things, I think, from the designer's perspective, potentially from the architects and builders, and definitely from the client's perspectives, they can buy NFTs from any of these marketplaces and unload them to their private BlackDove account and watch them at their convenience in their home. That
Can they?
we make it easy to watch NFTs.
So can they get people to create them for them? So the designer does this unique look of this house with this great furniture. Will people create NFTs for them?
Yes, number one, it's a commissioned piece of art. So we have 300 artists. If our artist can't do it, we'll help the designer or the client find an artist that can. But to answer your questions, absolutely. We did a project here in Miami Beach specifically on a 0.9 millimeter, very sophisticated planar video wall. And that wall has commissioned art for a couple reasons. Number one, the client's tastes were unique. Number two, he wanted to have a piece that nobody else in the world has. So he commissioned a piece of video art for that wall.
I guess this also opens up the opportunity for people to just kind of have non-standard video wall arrangements. I mean, there's so many technologies that are allowing you to kind of build any wall or shape that you want. So now somebody could actually make kind of the shape of their display a part of the art. Yes, is
You
that
can.
true?
I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm not an old-fashioned guy. I mean, you can see the art in my house. It's pretty crazy, but I really like to create things that a lot of people can enjoy.
Hmm.
So, do we have clients with custom screens, custom art? Absolutely, we do. But I think an interesting thing from the designer's perspective, from the client's perspective, is if they have screens in their house right now, BlackDove can go on them. You don't have to buy new screens. You don't have to switch around the electronics and the AV in your house. BlackDove can go on your existing screen with this new cool digital art.
Now, if I have some artwork, I've taken some photography, something, can somebody turn that into an NFT for me? Can you turn that? How might I do something with artwork I've created?
Sure. I mean, we've got several clients that either have photographs of their art or potentially photographs or video of friends and family. And we treat those clients like artists. We let them upload their content to their private BlackDove account, and they can watch it much like they watch BlackDove art.
Is there a size of television or monitor that's too small, too big? You know, is there a perfect shape? I mean, shape was what Keith was talking about, made up a square, but is there a perfect size for this?
I mean, the old joke, size matters. I think if you've got a 55-inch or above TV, digital art's going to look great on it. Can you put it on a 43 or a 49? You can do anything you want. I think one of the most interesting things about digital art is not too many people know it yet. So if you want to have something cool, you want to have something that's pretty novel, you can go anywhere from, again, a 49 to a 98-inch screen to a video wall. We put art on everything. I like 55 and above. That's my preference.
How do you think, just from a visual perspective, and how, like, when you do a portrait orientation versus a landscape orientation, and you take that TV essentially out of what people expect a TV to look like? You said you have that in your own home. How impactful is that? Just seeing a TV turned vertically, like, does that kind of stop people down when they see it?
It's interesting. So again, we've got a lot of art in the house. And, we have some really good art. We have some crazy art. Everybody remembers that portrait screen. They're not used to seeing portrait screens, number one. They're absolutely not used to seeing moving digital video art on it. So, we call those portrait screens digital canvases, which is what they are. They're not only art first screens, they're art only. So, a designer or a builder or an architect could put a portrait screen in, and it makes a strong statement. Number one, you can change the art on it as often as you want. We're doing a project now that the architect spec'd in a video wall in the house, and we're actually working with the designer and the architect and the client to select art for it.
You know, when I look at the art behind you, which people can see when we go into full frame, I see what looks like photographs. I see some abstract stuff, some all different types of stuff. The art from Black Dove, is it in one particular genre, or are you really scanning all different genres?
So what we've got is we've got, artists from all over the world, number one. So that geographic diversity, age diversity, training diversity lets us have a real broad category, library of art. So we have our art broken down into genres. Again, let's look at wellness. Let's look at technology art. Let's look at color-based art. Let's look at landscape nature art. So we have those genres, and our clients with us, without us, can go in with their designers and pick specific pieces that they like and create a playlist. But to answer your question, Nigel, we've got a very wide, we've got multiple genres of art, and we need to because our client base is so diverse.
Obviously, you're very involved in the art world, and we've seen kind of this influx of interest in NFTs. But do you think, from what's the long-term viability of digital art? Is art just moving to digital, or is it just a completely separate stream of the art world?
It's a separate stream of the art world. I mean, certain people are going to want paintings, others are going to want sculptures, others are starting to now collect digital art, others are going to want performance art. So, those tastes are developed over time. NFT or digital art is not going to completely supplant all those historical preferences. What I do see, though, is probably within 5 to 10 years, I think the TV is first going to be an art screen. And when you want to watch TV or a sporting event or a movie, then you take the art off and you put something else on. But I think TVs eventually are going to become art first screens.
I kind of think we're already seeing that for a lot of our clients. A lot of our clients that have put even a frame TV in their house just aren't going back.
Yeah, I wonder how easy it is to get started. Are there, if someone wants to download the Black Dove app to their Apple TV or their whatever their device is, can they try this for nothing?
My suggestion is, if anybody's interested, they can reach out to me. And what I'd like is to give people just a couple minutes of hand holding and make sure they're seeing the art the right way. One thing about video art, to your point a little bit, Keith, it's a new genre. So it's not like you're going to Spotify and saying, hey, I want Motown or I want country or I want pop. We all know our songs, old and new, so we get to pick what we want. With video art, you don't know the artist, you don't know the genres, you don't know what's going to appeal to you. So I like to hold people's hand for a little bit, but we've got huge clients, we've got small clients, we've got medium-sized clients. Black Dove is in a pure growth phase right now. Love to take care of anybody that wants to do business with us.
Well, we'll make sure they can get through links, get to you, Dan. And you kind enough to let me play with it. And I can tell you, we were talking about it earlier, and I'll try and drop a few shots in if we're allowed to into the podcast of some of the incredible art that I know is on the system. And it really does change. If you can get the lighting to work with your art in your room, you really change the tone and the nature of the room, don't you?
It's interesting. So, like I said, we work with all the automation systems. We work with Crestron, we work with Savant, we work with Josh AI, we work with Control 4. So I was at a client's house last week. We were actually, he offered to do a testimonial for us. And he said, watch this. So all of a sudden, all the lights in his place go out. And I'm thinking, okay. And then he says, Crestron, party time. And he's got a system voice activated. And so what happened was a certain Black Dove playlist came on, certain music came on, and the lights came on about halfway. So yeah, I mean, this guy uses his automation system, Crestron, and he's got everything pre-programmed. Savant's got the same thing with Scenes.
I like that it's integrated. I mean, I think that's one of the things that we really talk about is integrating the technology into your life, making it a part of what you're doing, not just a bunch of extra things around your house that complicate it. So I do like that you're kind of making it like the lighting in the home or like the air conditioning, like it is just a part of that environment and that atmosphere.
My attitude is sort of simple, but all those things work for us. We don't work for them. They work for us. They need to do what we want them to do, and they ought to do it in a coordinated way. So yeah, that's where the world is going. And you can temperature, you can do curtains, you can do lighting, you can do audio, you can do video. Video in the past was more difficult. Now with Black Dove, you can coordinate video with your other mood settings.
It's fabulous. And so we're going to work to make sure Black Dove is both demonstratable, if that's a word, can be demonstrated.
Demonstrable.
Yeah, one of those in the Bravas showrooms where we have them, or we'll make sure we can work with clients so we can really get them the experience. I think, which is just, and particularly designers and architects. I think we should be talking to every designer and every architect about how this can bring life to their pictures. But before we let you go, though, Dan, we always play the same sort of game with all of our attendees, our people who are kind enough to spend time with us, just to try and end on a sort of fun note. And we have sort of three simple questions. I don't know if we warned you of these, but I think you'll be able to deal with them.
Sure.
The first one is a home automation question. So, is there a piece of home automation that you have in your home that you think you couldn't live without?
Lighting. Lighting, I mean, for us is fundamental because we've got 400 pieces of art. So to light and change and maintain and show off the art, lighting for us is absolutely fundamental.
A second question you may have already answered, which is there an installation of your technology of Black Dove somewhere where you just went, wow, that's like the perfect place to put the technology?
It's a great story. So it's at a penthouse. We've got a lot of clients, but this is one of my favorites on Miami Beach. And the artist that did the piece for us, Rafik Anadal, is a very renowned artist. He's doing great projects in museums everywhere. And I walked Rafik up. Rafik's from LA during Art Basel in Miami and showed it to him. And he looked at me and he said, Wow. So to use your word, and it was spoken from the artist who actually created the piece, it was a stunningly brilliant, creative, AI-driven piece on a video wall. So
Hmm.
what I like is when the designer says wow, when the client says wow, when his children say wow, when visitors say wow. I like wow. Wow is cool.
Wow
I think
works.
we all want stories to share about our residences. BlackDove just enhances the storytelling of your residence.
All right, and finally, really, the last question is: if there was a piece of technology that hasn't been invented, whether that's the 3D Black Dove, I don't know. What's the piece of home automation technology or the piece of invention that you really would look forward to? Do you think?
Good question. What I would love, and it's probably more architectural than it is automation, I would like a total glass ceiling.
I think that
I
would take
would.
some technology to pull off.
That would take tech and that would take a good firm. But I love to look outside. I love to look at the sky. In Miami, you really can't put a lot of the glassed up on your roof because of hurricanes. But I think something that would allow me to have more glass on the ceiling specifically is what I would like. I think another thing, a more accessible thing, is the coordination of video with music, and we're highly focused on that right now. You
Hmm.
know, the TV plays independently of the music plays independently of the TV. We're working to coordinate those two.
That sounds great. And well, when you get it worked out, we would love to have you come back and explain how it works and what it is. But for the moment, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to working with you guys at Black Dove.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to have a very strong partnership. I look forward to it.
I agree. Thanks for your time.